Art is too important not to share. Welcome to the Allie and Callie Artcast.
Hi, I'm Allie.
And I'm Callie, and we're with the Coeur d'Alene Arts and Culture Alliance. Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone. It's a really, really, really hot day in Coeur
Super
d'Alene.
hot. Yes.
Yes.
Too hot to be outside, so listen to us.
That's right.
How about that?
That's brilliant.
I think it's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should listen to us. You know, hopefully you're inside with air conditioning. And
Right.
What are you doing, Allie? What's new with you?
Well, I had some really exciting stuff happen to me the other day.
Like what?
Well, Sunday I prepared myself for my colonoscopy yesterday.
Okay.
And
That
it
is
was
exciting.
Not fun.
Yeah. Did you drink like 2 gallons of liquid?
Oh my God. I actually could not finish it. I thought it was going to make
I'm
me
sure
throw
you
up.
did enough, though.
I did enough. It was good. The
How'd
whole
you do?
thing went fine.
All clear?
All clear.
Good job.
Yeah.
Good job, Allie.
But oh my God.
It's
a
the
good
best-
thing. It's a good thing to do, but thank God we only have to do it every 10 years.
I know. It's the best sleep of my life is what I recall.
You know what? Last night I slept all night long.
It's so good.
Yeah, now I get why Michael Jackson was into propofol.
Just say no to drugs.
I'm
but
sorry. I get it.
there is that. I mean, now
Yeah.
that I sleep like 4 to 5 hours a night, because I have a terrible sleep problem. But I get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It is kind of nice. I know.
So let me just say, I don't recommend propofol, but
No.
I do recommend those occasional
Yeah.
colonoscopies.
I think it's good for you. So this is our little medical advice. Get checked.
Right.
If you're over 50, I believe it's 50.
I think you start at 40.
40? Okay, 40.
No,
we're-
maybe it's 50.
I don't know. We're both
I don't
over
know.
40 or 50.
It doesn't matter. Just go do it.
Just get checked. This
Yeah.
is your medical
If
advice
nothing
from
else,
Allie and Callie.
it's a great cleansing opportunity.
And a great time to sleep a little.
Right.
I'm just
What's
saying.
going on with you?
Oh my gosh. Well, I've got my in-laws here. Happy they're here. My yard looks amazing. Oh my gosh. My mother-in-law brought 1 million plants, and they're beautiful.
Yay.
My yard has never looked beautiful. Just a reminder that
No, I can't. No, that's not true.
Oh.
Your yard has looked beautiful.
but it looks
But there's
even,
no bunnies, and that
there are
probably
no
has
bunnies,
helped.
so there are more flowers than usual, and I have more pots than usual, and it looks beautiful.
And you still have no bunnies?
No bunnies.
That's amazing.
I think it's because there are now 5 dogs in my house.
that would probably
Yeah, so the bunnies are
explain everything.
avoiding my yard like
Right.
hotcakes.
Yay!
So I'm happy about that. I mean, I see them in the area.
Uh-huh.
So now when the segways go by our house, we're no longer the bunny corner. So you're going to have to find another place to see
That's
the
right.
bunnies. But anyway, it's going well. A lot of transition in my household, but it's all good. Everything. I just have to remember that we are here. We are happy. Life is good. It's just a lot of transitions, and I'm grateful that the sun is shining, and look where we live.
I know.
Allie, look at this.
And you know what else?
What?
This is our 100th episode.
Is it really?
It is.
Oh my God.
100 episodes.
That's exciting. I'm so excited. And we have someone here who I've actually heard her name 1 million times in my household.
And I've known her since she was a teenager.
I know. So may we welcome Laurie Moe.
Lori!
Hello.
Hello.
So
We're
excited.
so glad to have you here. It's so happy that you're back in town.
Yes, so explain to our listeners who Laurie Moe is.
Yes.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here as well and back in beautiful Coeur d'Alene. I grew up in the Coeur d'Alene Summer Theatre because my father, Bob Moe, was the founder of the Coeur d'Alene Summer Theatre starting in 1967. And I moved away from Coeur d'Alene when I was 19, and I moved back 2 weeks ago. So back to my hometown, which is interesting and wonderful and all the things that you think it would be. But so happy to be here and back attached to my roots, and very happy to be here.
Yeah, well, we're glad to have you back here. It's awesome.
Absolutely. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. It's got to be exciting. I mean, I've heard so many stories about your father and you and your sister and through my husband Stu, and just it's fun to actually have your face put with the name, and just kind of like we never worked together because kind of our timing was not at the same time, but welcome. Happy to have you, and just happy that you're here back in Coeur d'Alene, and look forward to seeing you in our community. So tell us a little bit about what you do now, and then we'll go back in the past and talk about your experiences in Coeur d'Alene.
Well, now I am very involved with health and wellness. I am a holistic health coach specializing in helping people heal from digestive issues, autoimmune issues. I work with corporate wellness. I work in private coaching, and my career has been varied, but always really my mission is to inspire and empower people to become the best versions of themselves, however that looks.
Wow.
And yeah, so I've done that in a lot of different ways, but right now I'm focusing on corporate wellness coaching.
That's
Cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to hook you up with my husband.
Yeah, I was going to say
Yeah.
digestive.
I know.
That's good for
Yep.
Kevin. And
That
then
would be good.
wellness, I think we all need a little
We
wellness.
all need a little wellness.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
So tell us a little bit about growing up in Coeur d'Alene with your father, Bob Moe.
And basically growing up in the theater.
Yes.
Well, I can't think of a better way to grow up. I feel like I grew up in this, and this is, of course, 50 years ago, but I grew up in this very small town. And what was interesting is I look back now and I feel that I was very sheltered, but in a different way. So I grew up in the arts, I grew up in the theater, and I grew up either in a show, seeing a show, in an orchestra, or watching a symphony, and being totally engulfed in the arts from a very young age. And so for me, it was interesting growing up here, and I see other people's perspective of way back when in a small town, and I was sheltered, but in the opposite way.
Right.
So it was such an incredible way to grow up. And I was literally born in the theater. My first show, I was 3 months old.
Wow.
I was carried on as a baby in Fiddler on the Roof in 1971.
Oh, that's so fun.
And I was fired halfway through the season. Because the leading lady, the lady who played Zeidel, said it was right after my evening feeding, and so I was Googling and cooing at the audience and upstaging her. And she said either she goes or I go.
Oh my gosh.
So I was replaced with a doll for the rest of the season.
Wow.
My first kind of taste of showbiz.
You're fired.
Your first taste of showbiz,
Yeah.
you upstaged the lead actress.
Yes, I did.
Love that.
I did.
That's perfect.
Kind of kept that theme going through.
Yeah, right?
That's so fun. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so that was my first foray, but we really me and my two sisters, Lisa, who's older, and Leslie, who's younger, had bassinets in the green room and were passed around, and, either in the show or around the shows. And so for me, just growing up on stage was such an incredible experience. Being involved in creativity, I didn't know anything else. And so for me, it was wonderful. It was a wonderful way to grow up.
Well, let's talk a little bit about your dad.
Yeah.
Bob was definitely a mover and shaker in this community,
Yeah,
especially with the theater.
So tell you both, you of course, I came into Summer Theatre in 1994. So tell me, how did he end up in Coeur d'Alene? How did it all start? Let's start with that.
Funnily enough, he was actually raised in Lane, Idaho.
Lane.
Which was a one-horse town.
Where is
Wow, I don't
Lane?
even know where that is.
I don't either.
So you're on your way to Kellogg.
Okay.
And you stop somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
where there's nothing. You kind of know where Black Lake, just sort of on your way to Kellogg. It's
Yeah.
just sort of the middle of nowhere. And he, I think, went to Kellogg High School.
Okay.
And was very involved with even politics back then. And he went to the University of Idaho and worked at Bunker Hill.
Wow.
In the mines, worked his way through college, and he was the president and actually formed the whole political sort of movement at University of Idaho and started the Young Democratic Society.
He did.
That's
wow.
Yeah, so that's kind of how he started, and then he got a teaching job in Laguna Beach, which is where I was born. And he taught high school English, and then he came back to the Coeur d'Alene area, and there was a establishment called the Red Door Players, which was a local community theater that was here, and they had been sort of in business for 4 years. They were going under, they were in the red. He took it over and made the Coeur d'Alene Summer Theatre Carousel Players from there.
Right.
Wow.
And so he started that here in 1967. And he would go back and forth. In the fall, he would go back to Laguna Beach and teach, and then he would come back to Coeur d'Alene in the summer to do summer theater. And then about 4 years later, the North Idaho College was just opening, and he got the job as the head of the Communication Arts Building.
Right.
Okay.
And he was given that job, and so he opened NIC as the director of the Communication Arts Building. So we moved to Coeur d'Alene when I was 4, and we're full-time here in Coeur d'Alene from then on. So he would do the college, all the college shows. He taught speech and drama, communications, and then would do summer theater in the summers. But in the kind of throughout the year, he would go all around the country to Seattle and Los Angeles and New York and audition young hopefuls and college students, and then they would all come to Coeur d'Alene, and he would house them in 2 really fabulous apartment buildings.
The Pit.
5-star.
What was it called?
5-star.
The Pit and the Pendulum.
The Pit and the
Pit
Pendulum.
and the Pendulum, and then later on, the Poe.
Oh,
So
right,
the Pit, the
right.
Pin, and the Poe.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, it's so
And
What
funny.
was the Poe?
The Poe was just right behind. It was pretty much an alleyway across from the Pen on the next
okay.
street over.
Oh, okay.
Is
The
that
Poe
funny?
is still there.
Yeah.
The other ones are like condos
Yes.
now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gone.
Right.
Long gone. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know the Pit is. Wait.
They're condos.
Which was the Pit and which was
the
the
Pit was
Pendulum?
on Indiana and 3rd, and
Yeah.
then the Pen was on 1st and
Right.
Coeur d'Alene, I think.
Yeah.
The Pen. Okay. The
Yeah.
Pen was where your dad lived.
Right.
Up on top.
Yes.
I remember I was pregnant with Connor, and we watched the fireworks the night before he was born, and I accidentally tripped over Terrence's legs, Terrence Kelly's legs.
That's so funny.
And I thought, oh my
Uh-oh,
God,
I'm gonna have
this
a
pregnant
baby.
lady laying on this guy's legs who's a dancer and he needs to dance.
The funny thing about the Pen was it was 3 stories, and the top floor had 2 apartments. And when my parents divorced, he moved into the Pen, and he tore out the walls, and he made one big apartment on the top.
Right.
But he decided to put in a sliding glass door to nothing. So there was no patio. There was a sliding glass door, and you would just go down the ladder and then be on the ledge of the roof on the second
Right.
floor. So that was his patio. And
Right.
that's where we did all the 4th of July celebrations.
Oh my
funny.
God. It was so,
So
fun.
funny.
I lived there with my ex-husband for a year.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
when we first got married.
I think we all lived at the Pen at some point.
Right?
Yeah.
I know. I never lived at the Pit.
I think
but
Stu
a lot
lived
of
at the
things
Pit.
we just went to the Pit for
What
the parties.
I've heard of the Pit is when Stu lived at the Pit, he would. Okay, sorry, Stu. He never really.
So many
listens.
stories about the Pit.
Oh my
Yeah,
God,
we won't
Stu,
talk about
Stu
it.
would literally put his name on every egg. This is his egg. Stu Cape, Stu Cape, Stu Cape, Stu Cape. So they were on a tight budget, and you got extra money if you struck the set every night. So he would sign up for striking the set. So because at that time it was rep. So
Yes.
you would get a different set
different
every night.
show every night.
So he was signing up because Stu's like, I got to make money, and so, but he was also on a budget, so he would like every single egg. He was like, somebody ate an egg.
I think I remember that.
I was like, that's so Stu. I was like, somebody ate my eggs. Where's my cereal? Sorry, Stu. I know. That's my husband. I can say that. He's told me the story so many times about the pit. The pit. They're on.
So the pen was right across the street from the Coeur d'Alene North.
Yeah.
It's the Coeur d'Alene North, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. It's now a parking lot.
Yeah.
The pit
and the pendulum
was on Indiana.
Yeah.
Right in the
second
middle.
and third.
Yeah.
And they're condos now, I think.
Yeah.
They're big condos.
I
And
just
the
drove by the
Poe-
other night. They're
Yeah.
gone, yeah.
Okay, so the Poe was right behind.
Yeah.
Right behind.
And that's the only one that's still around.
Yeah.
The Poe is the one I'm not familiar with. That
And
must
they
have
used
come
to
in
hang out
later.
at Lakers. And
Yeah.
Lakers.
Oh, yeah. Lakers
And Lakers is still there. It's
Right?
still there.
Leslie, my sister and I went there the other night just for old time's sake. It literally looks exactly the
It
same.
doesn't
But
change.
when I was 15, we used to walk down to Lakers and I could buy cigarettes for $1. And so all I needed was to scrounge 4 quarters and I could buy a pack of cigarettes. But Leslie, who's 4 years younger than me, she was probably 12 or something.
my
and
God.
she walks into Lakers. She goes, yeah, I'm looking for my dad.
Ah!
Or no. She said, I'm looking for Bob Moe. And the guys at the bar all raised their hands and said, I'm Bob Moe.
Oh!
God. Anyway, that was the 80s, okay? It
It's
was the
different
80s.
time. It's a different time, folks.
But we all used to hang out at Lakers.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that was the place
Yes.
that we had all our,
my
fun.
gosh.
all the cast
fun.
parties. We
Yeah.
would go and hang
Even
out
when
there.
I started in '94, we were still going to Lakers.
Going to Lakers.
Oh
But
my
before
gosh.
that, when we lived up on when my mom lived there for 40 years, but up on the hill, which is right across 95, across, from Cedars, you can see those houses up there. We lived just on that loop. And all the neighbors who would come see the shows, they would watch the cast parties because we had all the cast parties, all the opening parties, all the closing parties at the house on the hill.
Oh, yeah.
And so they would all be out on their patios watching all the movie stars walk by.
Oh, my
We would
God.
have a whole street,
Right.
with
So
all
fun.
the parked cars. And so as a little kid, I was there for all the cast parties, obviously,
Of
because I
course.
lived there.
Right.
And I remember being up till 5 in the morning and my
Yep.
dad pushing me with his feet, go to bed, kid, go to bed, kid.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
we would be up all night at all the cast parties. It was so much fun.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
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 Those cast parties
It's-
were pretty wild.
Yeah, we used to have a few at our house too. Our kids were like playing games till 2 in the morning. I'm like, am I a bad parent? Am I a bad parent? And I'm like, no, they're experiencing life. It's
Right.
good.
It is
It's
good.
good.
It
It's
is
good.
Yeah.
They and look at all the culture they're experiencing and the diversity that
Diversity,
they
that's
weren't
huge.
really getting at that certain time. So
Right.
I have no regrets. But yeah. It was
Yeah,
fun.
it
Oh
was
my
really
gosh.
fun.
Oh.
And speaking of diversity,
Mm-hmm.
I remember in 1983 or 4, I can't remember which it was, but Music Man, and my father was such a visionary, and he was so
Yes.
he just always pushed the limit, and he never asked permission for anything. And here we are in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, in the 80s.
Is it Terrence?
He cast
Yep.
the first black leading man with a white leading woman.
Terrence and Angela.
Yeah. Well, Terrence
that
and
was-
actually
Not
that would have
Angela.
been, that would have
blanking
been
on her name,
pre-
but she played Marilyn.
Oh, yeah.
And that was huge back
I know.
then.
Weren't there bomb threats? I remember there were bomb threats. That's what Stu told me with one show. It was Terrence and Angela. I don't know which
that
show
would
it
have
was.
been Barnum, probably.
Oh, that
Yeah.
could have been. It was
Yeah.
84.
Yeah, something like that where there were actual bomb threats that people were so upset about it. And I'm like, oh my
Which
God.
is so silly.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
But the funny thing is I had no idea. It's
Yeah.
not like they came home and said, "Oh, did you hear what happened?"
No, of
It
course
was
not.
It wasn't even a thing.
I know.
Right.
And it's such a big, we've had protests before about certain shows. It's such a little, it's a blurb. It's like a little blurb and
Yeah.
then the show goes on.
Right.
And it does well.
Yeah.
And it's not the end of the world. It's
Yeah.
just the show goes on.
Right.
And it's a great show.
Hey y'all, it's Jason from Tubbs Coffee Roasters. We are North Idaho's specialty coffee roaster. We are homegrown and we are local. We love coffee and we love our community, especially Allie and Callie and Artcast. We have a retail space in our roastery in Hayden, and we can also be found on the shelves at Super One and Yokes. And if you like to buy coffee online, we do offer subscriptions. You can find us at tubbscoffeeroasters.com. Support arts and culture and your local roaster. That's all.
So,
You were in the shows also,
Yeah, I
correct?
I was, yes. There was a lot of nepotism going on.
right?
But you're talented.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
It was more, I think, a casting of convenience. Like, you want to play Connie in Chorus Line. She's supposed to be Asian, but you can do it. Stoop a little. But yeah, I was definitely in all the shows. We were pretty much in every season, except for if we weren't needed. One year when my parents got divorced, we weren't in the theater that year, but after that, we were right back in it.
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty much.
Well, sometimes that happens. You cast a season and then people get other commitments that are maybe or better offers financially that are more rewarding or have better standings or whatever. So things change.
Yeah.
So that's what you do. You start filling in with people you know and people that are reliable, and you do the best you can to put on the best show you can.
That is true.
So don't ever think that it's like, oh, well, we'll just use this person. It's like, no, you use what you have and you know and you trust.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's not like, oh, this is my third choice. This is like, no, this is a great choice. It's just this is what I have right now and I'm going to use this and this is a good thing.
There's actually a really funny story about my little sister who was probably 5 or 6, and she was going to be in Music Man. She was going to be Amaryllis.
Oh, yeah.
And my dad said, Leslie, you need to go audition, because we were having auditions because the company would all come and they'd audition. And she said, yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. And he said, you have to go audition. You have to go up and sing the song. So she went up with a group of kids and she slowly started backing up, backing up, and then went through the side door and was back sitting by his side. And like 5 minutes, he just laughed at her.
Oh
She's
my
like,
God,
got the
that's
role.
so
She's
funny.
like,
That's
so funny.
hilarious.
Oh my gosh.
I can picture that. That's funny.
cute. She's
So what made you leave Coeur d'Alene at 19?
I think just growing up in a smaller-ish town, I just wanted to go see the world. I wanted to move to LA. I wanted to just experience life to the fullest. And so I did. I moved to LA and I lived there for about a year and ended up meeting my husband, who was my husband for many years, and then ended up in the Seattle area. But I just kind of wanted to get out, see the world.
Well, that's fair.
Yeah.
And
We all
so
did it.
how did you get into the role that you are in now as a wellness coach?
I started having health issues at about age 34, 35. And I started having digestive issues, and I started having like some autoimmune issues, ulcerative colitis, and I just couldn't figure out what was going on. I went to all the doctors, no one could diagnose me. And so I went to a naturopath and I really just started learning about healing the gut. And what I learned was that gut issues really are the catalyst for many other illnesses, including autoimmune issues and blood sugar issues and everything. So inflammation was really the key, and especially as it applies to the gut. So I healed my gut. I got really healthy. I got this great understanding, and I thought, everyone needs to know this. And so I started teaching it. And I started teaching people how to improve their digestion, cutting out, major food allergens. And this this went on for years and years, and I was just into health and wellness because I thought, boy, if everyone knew this, life is going to be a lot better for people. If you could empower yourself, then you don't have to rely on, so many doctors and so many prescriptions, because that's not where vibrant health is.
Right.
So how can I help people to achieve and to find their own vibrant health based on what they wanted to do? And this was fairly new back in the 90s, but health coaching. So I started doing that and really went into that field, doing corporate wellness coaching and group coaching. And then it was a couple of years later, I had experienced, after my divorce and my move and some stress, I started developing different autoimmune issues. And I was speaking with this energy healer, and I said, well, I have autoimmune issues, but it's okay. They keep me in line. Like if I have a symptom, it means I'm out of balance. I need to get back into balance. So she said, be careful of that. If it's serving you, you're going to keep it. And so, yeah. And which I told people all the time, but someone needed to clearly tell me. And so I said, you know what? You're right. I'm going to figure out what this is. And so I was scrolling through Facebook a couple of months later, and I come across this post of this lady, a friend of mine, who said, I finally got these toxic things out of my body. And she showed a picture, and it was her breast implants. And I had breast implants 15 years before, and that's really when all my issues started. Now, when you looked back then at breast implant illness, it was completely different. It was all about the silicone and how leaking silicone can affect your health. But this really talked about how the shell itself breaks down. It doesn't turn to fungus, it attracts fungus and mycotoxins and causes leaky gut. And that, which I already knew, causes all the other health issues.
Right.
So I had a constant source of toxins in my body that were they were wreaking havoc, running amok. And so I made the decision to get an explant, which means getting them removed. And my health over the last 3 years has just skyrocketed.
Wow.
Yes.
That's great.
And so
I know, in duo. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Well, it's amazing. And, toxins cause inflammation.
Right.
Sure.
And so when you have a load of toxins, whether you were exposed to mold as a child in your basement, or you have something in your body that's producing it, there is a root cause to chronic conditions. And my goal is always to help people find what is the root cause. Is it past trauma? Was it mold? Is it Lyme? Is it your implants? Well, it's always your implants if you have implants. But what is it? Get the root of it out. Your body knows what to do. Your body can heal itself.
Right.
Yeah.
But if we get out of its way, then it can heal itself.
Sure.
So for me, that's my message.
Yeah.
Yes, I like to educate about breast implant illness, but that's not always what the issue is.
Right.
And everyone has to be sort of on the road and on the lookout for what their root cause is. And once you get rid of that, then healing can begin. Then vibrant life can begin. So that's, as far as, working and making a living, I have, had several different, things that I've done over the years, but it's always rooted in that. Is like, how can I help people to get to the root issue and support them in finding a way to find that vibrant health? Because once you find it, you don't let it go.
Right.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the best thing that you can do for yourself.
So
That's
how
great.
do you approach people when you are what's your approach to a person like me? Let's say you and I are meeting for the first time and I have an issue. How do you communicate to me or find out
What your toxin is, maybe.
Interestingly enough, I found that questioning is, of course, the most important thing. I'll ask you lots of questions. But whatever the main symptom is, I ask, when did it start?
Yeah.
What happened before that? And then that's generally when you will find your key.
Right, that makes sense.
Something happened. There was a big stressor. There's a place I lived. There was a surgery I had. Something got messed up with the surgery. Yeah. Who knows? Maybe they left a tool in there. I mean, that happens.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be anything, but it's mostly about helping you to determine where the problem started and what happened before it. So.
Wow,
I would call mine menopause.
Yeah. Well, I just hope that when you meet with Kevin that he doesn't say it was when he met me.
Oh, ouch.
I hope not too.
Yeah,
that would be awkward.
Yeah, that would be very awkward. Like, how do we fix that? No, he won't say that.
No,
He will not
no.
say that.
And I love coaching, but really, I love teaching.
Yeah.
Like speaking, presenting. And I will tell you, doing theater,
It's a perfect, it's a great transition.
Yeah.
I mean, some people can do it. Like, okay, Stu and I have both been in theater a
Yeah.
million years, but Stu is a presenter for the last 24 years, I
Right.
think. Callie, been in theater 40 years. Do not want to present ever in my life. Some people have it. You have it. I can tell. You've got it.
Yeah.
There are certain people that have it and certain people that are like, no, she's not a teacher. They're a teacher.
They stick to the acting as the character they get into.
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
Public speaking part
Is whoa.
Yeah.
It's there's a
Yeah.
different it's a different thing. It's like what is that in school when you have to do the oral report.
Yeah.
I wanted to die. I was like, "Are you kidding me? Give me a script. I'll do anything, but you make me."
Yeah, but you really sell yourself short because I've seen you do some things like that time that we went to make that presentation at that women's thing, and you came through. You did great.
I'm getting better, but it's
It does take practice, though.
It does take practice.
I was not comfortable.
I
Even
know.
speaking in a group of people, I would get all nervous. Like,
Yeah.
oh, they're going to, judge me for
right.
saying something.
It is exactly it, and
Yeah.
I
But
think
it is-
Stu always says, "How do you become a good public speaker?" About 2,000 speeches.
Exactly.
And I'm like, okay,
Exactly.
all right, well, maybe, yeah, but
And I will tell you, the other thing, though, that really makes a difference is having a message to give.
exactly
And
the
so-
right message. I don't have a message.
Any
message.
message.
Yeah.
But if you're talking about something from the heart
that matters to
that
you.
matters to you,
Exactly.
that's the difference. Like,
Yeah.
if you asked me to go speak on, car parts or something, I'd be like,
No, thank you.
I would have to memorize
It
Yeah.
runs or it doesn't.
The crankshaft
Yeah,
needs
right.
to be, no.
But I
Yeah.
agree. It's something that you're passionate about. and
It makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But definitely growing up in theater gave me the confidence to
Exactly.
at least be able to connect it to something that I knew how to do. And I'm like, okay, I remember on stage singing
Yes.
a song. I can do that.
Yeah. True.
Job interviews, just talking to people in general. It's just, that gives you that when you grow up or when you have any experience in theater, it just gives you a little bit of a different perspective.
So
on-
that's something to remember, folks. Maybe you should all try out for some theater.
Yes.
Be
Give
out
yours-
there.
Yeah.
Put yourself out there. You may not think you can do it, but you can do it.
Right.
It's actually quite fun. You just have to put yourself out there.
I remember taking an acting class one time, and this is later in life when I thought I might want to act again. And the instructor said they want to meet you halfway.
Mm-hmm.
So you just have to put out what you have, and they'll meet you halfway.
Yeah, and help you out.
Yeah, so you're not doing the whole job yourself.
No,
Oh,
exactly.
that's cool. That's a great thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to let you fail.
Yeah.
They don't
wanna-
want you to fail.
They want you to excel
Yeah.
and be the best that you can be.
Yeah, so if you can tap into that,
Yeah.
you're halfway there.
Just think about it. Auditions are coming up, I'm sure. For something.
So what's coming up next for you? I hear that you're writing a book.
Yes, I am. I am putting together a book that has to do with my experiences with breast implant illness, but really about the journey of getting from dis-ease to health. So whatever and it could be for anybody. It doesn't have to be just breast implant illness, but understanding how to go inward and how to be introspective, how to be honest with yourself, and how to move through a journey and understanding that you're going to come out the other side, and you're going to come out the other side better. Because sometimes I'll think 15 years it took you to figure this out. Like, really? How
Yeah.
dumb do you have to be? But at the same time, I'm like, look at everything I learned, and look at all the people that I can inspire now.
Right.
And you can't speak really effectively. Well, you can, but it's much more effective if you're coming from a place of authenticity. And so what I learned and what I went through was sort of hell, but I can speak from that place now, and I can coach from that place now, and I can say, I understand where you've been. I get it. It sucks and it's hard, but you can do it, and you can come out the other side, and I'm proof of that.
Right.
So for me, writing this book is going to just be not only expression of what I went through, but also hope for people who have chronic illness.
And inspiration.
And
Yeah.
inspiration, exactly.
That's great that there is a way out.
Yeah.
And I think that's the key. I think there's so many people who feel like they are trapped.
And there's no
And
way out.
I think it's really important
Especially
to
dealing with
let
pain.
people know that there is a way out. You do have control over your body.
Yeah.
Your thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your thoughts have so much to do with what your body does.
Exactly.
Boy, is that true.
Your body does exactly what you tell it to do. And so be very aware of what you say out of your own mouth,
Right.
because that is very, very powerful.
Allie's really good at saying, you're not old.
Right.
Because I say it all the time. Oh, I feel so old.
Right.
She goes, you're not,
Nuh-uh.
I'm not old. I'm
No,
like,
we are
okay.
not old.
I'm like, okay, we're not old.
No,
We're just,
whoever told you
I
need
know.
to be old.
I'm like, it's a number. I know it's a number, but yeah,
Yeah.
I have to get over that.
I remember I was in Lake Chelan with a couple of friends, and the waiter at the restaurant that we were at came up and my friend said, I don't remember the context exactly, but my friend said, oh, well, we're old. And I looked at her and I said, excuse me, but you speak for yourself. I am not old. And she has never forgotten that. She is like,
And you-
oh, yeah, I can't say I'm old.
That's right. And you stick to it. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I catch myself when I'm with you. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. We're not old.
Listen to what you're
It's
saying.
good.
out
It's
of your
so
own
good.
mouth.
Right.
It's so true
Yeah.
because there are days that I'm like, I don't feel, 60. I feel like 35 sometimes.
Right.
There's some days I
I know.
feel
I
a
always
little.
tell everybody I'm still 22.
Yeah. There are days. So I just have to change my mindset some days and go, okay, well, I
Yep.
don't sleep as well as I used to, but I'm still here,
Right.
and there are many good days, and we just have to just go, okay, well, that's a new thing. Well, I'll fix this. This is the next thing. We'll
That's
fix
right.
this.
Yep.
I need to work on my wellness.
And
See?
we all do.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? And I think it's a constant.
Yeah.
And that's very true. That's what I tell people. Whatever is in front of you is the thing you're supposed to be working on. Don't worry about the next steps. Like,
Yeah.
just do the thing that's in front of you that
Right
makes
now.
the most sense. And
Yeah.
then you can go from there.
Just
Right.
kind of day by day.
Hi, Allie here. Hey, do you love our Artcast? Be sure to follow us on your favorite podcast app or like us on Facebook to get notifications about some upcoming giveaways, like an official Allie and Callie mug. Our audience is growing too, and we are a great outlet for advertising. Consider being a sponsor, and Callie and I will record an ad for you or help you record it yourself. Thank you for listening.
So what's next for you? What's coming up after the book? What are you planning on now that you're back in Coeur d'Alene?
I am starting my corporate wellness coaching company here. It's called Wellness Works Corporate Coaching.
I love that.
Yes. And so I will be working with companies, big and small, on helping them to get their workplace well, because we spend most of our time at work, unfortunately, 8 to 10 hours a day. So the biggest percentage is at work. And if your workplace isn't healthy, it's pretty difficult to be healthy.
Right.
And so my goal is to work with companies here in the area and also by Zoom to be able to help companies, get their employees healthy.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of where it starts. And, the culture of the company is really important as well. And so if, you work at a company that doesn't have a healthy culture, you can become a wellness coordinator for your company. So you can actually take a certification program and have a committee, and really it takes the people. It doesn't always come from the top. Sometimes the people who work there need to be able to, make a move and make a decision and form a committee, and they can really do a lot from there. So, we change the world by changing ourselves.
Right.
And so, empowering people just to be able to do that. But my goal is to be able to go in and teach the classes and guide and to help in any way that I can.
Right.
But
What
as
is it?
employees, we can do it.
Mahatma Gandhi
It's
says, "Be the change you wish
To
to
be,
be in the
to
world."
see, yeah.
to see in the world.
I alone as one person cannot change. Oh, something about changing one world. I don't know.
Yeah, it's so true.
There's a great quote. Stu has it on a bracelet.
Oh,
I need to look at it.
yeah.
I'll tell you next time. Tune in next episode. We'll let you know. You'll have to find out. Tune in next episode. I promise. I'll tell you. It's a secret. Until
Well,
then.
Laurie, it is so great to have you back in town.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're welcome.
I'm looking
welcome.
forward to more adventures.
Yes.
And maybe some more parties. And
Oh,
maybe even
absolutely.
a visit to Lakeside. Or
Lakers.
Lakers. Oh my
Lakers.
God, how fun
Yeah,
would that
heading
be?
there
wouldn't that be
later?
fun?
Yeah.
I thought that was our next stop.
One little beer.
Right.
Why not? I haven't been there in years.
I'm really happy that I'm pushing their bar. I know Doug and Christy well.
Oh,
funny.
wow. That's so funny. God, I haven't been there in years.
For old time's sake.
Yeah, why not? Why not? Well, welcome. Thank you
Yep.
so much for sharing your stories and all best success to all your new
I
ventures
know.
here in Coeur d'Alene.
And just, just to say that your dad was amazing, and we all miss him. He was,
And I wouldn't be here without Coeur d'Alene Summer Theatre.
That's right.
So many of us wouldn't.
I wouldn't be here
Yeah.
with my husband, my children.
I wouldn't have my
all
kids,
of it.
the
Yeah.
kids that I have.
Exactly. All of
Your
it.
dad was
He
my
brought us all
son's
together.
godfather.
Right here.
Yep.
Isn't that weird?
I know.
That's kind of crazy.
if
it
you
weren't-
counted the people
it's
that got together from Coeur d'Alene Summer Theatre just from 67 to 90.
Oh, it
I
would
know.
be a huge party. We should
Exponential.
do that party.
it's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Right?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for having
Anyway,
me.
you
Yeah.
bet.
Thank you
Good to
so
have
much.
you back in town.
Thank you.
All
Yep.
right.
And I'm Allie.
And I'm Callie. And whatever you do today, make sure it's creative.
The Allie and Callie Artcast is a program of the Coeur d'Alene Arts and Culture Alliance and is sponsored by NIA, North Idaho Alliance, a women-based leadership organization designed to inspire, uplift, and impact your community and lives. And Tubbs Coffee Roasters, globally sourced, locally roasted coffee.